Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. And today we will be doing a preview for the match between South Africa and Australia, the semi final of the World Cup, semi final two. And we're starting our preview shortly after India beat New Zealand in the first semi final by 70 runs to reach the final. Fantastic performance from Mohammad Shami, 6 wickets for him, and a total domination ultimately from, you could say, from India um, in this particular match. Now, we're going to be obviously previewing our game, South Africa versus Australia, looking at the press conference from Temba Bavuma and what he had to say, talking about what we'd like to see from a selection point of view when it comes to the South African team and the lineup. And we're going to try and give it our best shot in analyzing or predicting what we feel will happen in this final and how South Africa should prepare for it, etc., etc. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, um, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell as well. If you're new, particularly if you're new to this channel, subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos. I think what's nice also for you guys to prepare for this particular final is, or the semi final, is also to look at our latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. It's on BMT. And every issue is 100% free straight to your inbox every month. And the link is on the screen right now as well as in the description. If you want to show your support for what we do here at Cricket Fanatics Mag, then please become a Patreon today. The link is on the screen right now as well as in the description. We rely on your patronage to continue doing what we are doing over here. Smash the like button, comment, and share. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm nervous as hell, as you guys can probably tell, ahead of this particular match, which is going to happen tomorrow. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do between South Africa and Australia ahead of the game, the semi-final of the World Cup. So let's get into it. We know that this particular game is going to be taking place in Kolkata, and it is the same ground that South Africa will bowled out for 83 against India. So we don't really have a great memory from the last time that we played in Kolkata. So it is something that we maybe are going to look at and hope that we can improve on. Now, obviously, this is not Australia, by no means are India, with especially that bowling attack. And we know that this particular pitch is going to be something that I think will probably favor South Africa more than it would Australia, in my opinion. That's what I currently think when it comes to this particular this match. Obviously, it's another black soil surface at Eden Gardens, and it normally promises turn for the spinners. But there has been some true bounce for the quicks as well, as we saw in the group stages between England and Pakistan. The weather is obviously going to come into a massive. It's going to play its massive part in this particular match because there is rain predicted for tomorrow's game. So it isn't necessarily hard rain throughout, but tomorrow and Friday there is predicted rain. Um, so this is something we're gonna have to look out for. It's about 20%, 25%, 30% chance of rain, around about that mark on Thursday, and then a 50%. It shoots up to 50% on Friday. So that's the reserve day. So we we kind of have to hope that the weather's going to be on our side this time if it does affect the game and it does influence the game. There will be at least a reserve day, like I said. Um, the toss will then obviously be important. If it's rained out, South Africa go through. But if rain affects it, then a lot of other factors are going to come into the equation when it comes to this particular match. So I think let's start with the presser from Temba Bavuma. Um, I think that's a great place for us to start. We do have updates, for example, on Temba, who said he wasn't necessarily 100% ready, and they are still monitoring him today, and they'll probably make a decision tonight who's going to be in the team when they have their team talk. I don't think that Temba will play if he's not 100% fit. That is at least a vibe that I got from Rob, as well as to an extent from Temba. But let's listen to his press conference and see what he had to say ahead of the game, to give us some insight into what the Proteas are feeling like and what they are going through heading into this match. Um,
As well. We'll get straight into it. We're going to take a couple of questions just from the South African press before we go to the wider room. Who would like to start us off there? Telford?
How's it, Temba? It's been quite a few days for you. How's the hamstring and how's just your state of mind?
Physically, I feel alright. Obviously, not 100%. So, obviously, this day becomes important in terms of decision about tomorrow. I'm quite confident, but I mean, it's not a unilateral decision that will be made. And in state of mind, obviously, a bit nervous of the game. It will be our first semi-final as a team. But I think the feeling is no different, I guess, from any game that we've encountered within the World Cup. So, yeah.
okay, so now we know that the approach is obviously going to be taking it game by game, like we wanted them to do from the start of this tournament. There is a little bit of nerves, but I don't think we should be overly worried about that. I don't think we should be overly worried about the nerves. Ultimately, I think that it's good to have some nerves going into semi. It's natural and normal for them to have some nerves. But if they do take it game by game and just focus on what they can do, that's the focus we want from them.
For those?
Temba, when you say not 100%, can you just say what it is that maybe doesn't feel 100%? I mean, we know it's the hamstring, but what do you need to do today to feel like to get that tick and to be able to play tomorrow?
I think it's just using the rest day. Continue with my rehab. I'll still be continuing with my rehab today on the field, doing some fielding stuff. Yeah, I can't tell you medically, but I think for me, from a feeling point of view, that's what I can attest to.
Temba, I'm over here. In terms of state of mind collectively with the squad and the players, your team, do you have any plans for this evening? Are you going to sort of knock on doors and give everyone a hug, or are you just going to leave them to do their own thing and prepare in their own way?
So most of the guys have opted to take the option with optional training today. So I think from a skill point of view, from a physical point of view, guys are quite confident from their point of view. We'll have our normal evening team meeting where the team will be announced. I'm sure there'll be conversations that happen there within that meetings around the around the occasion of tomorrow. But I honestly don't anticipate it to be any different. There's a sense of calmness within the team, and obviously the normal level of anxiety that you would expect going into the game tomorrow. But I think we'll take a lot of confidence with our performances up until this point. But yeah, I don't think I'll be going around giving guys hugs. No.
Hi, Temba. Can you? I'm just in the back here. For you personally, obviously we know it's not yet 100% that you're going to play, but can you just speak from your point of view what it would mean for you and everything you've gone through in your career to lead South Africa on the field in a World Cup semi-final?
Yeah, it would be massive. I've tried not to really allow myself to get into that space. You obviously want to treat it as just another game. But I guess you're forcing me to acknowledge, that occasion. It's obviously something that I'll be looking forward to. It's something that I'll savor in that moment with that opportunity. I know it'll mean a lot for the family and people back home. And obviously it would be nice to be having another press conference with you guys on the 18th of November. But yeah, try not to get too much into that, into all those emotions. Let's see it as just another game.
Hi, Temba, back here. Just on the composition of your team, the last time you guys played here, you went with the two frontline spinners. Do the conditions suggest that you do the same? And until when will you leave that before making a decision?
Yeah, I'm allowed to say, if it is up to me, I'm definitely playing our two frontline spinners. Obviously Keshav and Shamsi. We obviously have Aiden as well, who's also gives us an option there. Then I think it's just finalizing in terms of the three seamers, who that may be. But like you say, conditions, opposition as well, really give that as an option for us.
Temba, I know every semi-final South Africa played in over the years is important, but do you sort of get a sense that this one is also perhaps one of the more significant ones symbolically as well? You guys have been credited with creating a really good team environment, a good team, and also given the adversity you guys had to go through, to affect this turnaround basically in 9 months, is actually really significant. So is this truly symbolically one of the more significant, semi-finals you believe in South African cricket?
I guess they're all important, the semi-finals. I think, like you say, with the way we performed as a team, it's obviously created a lot of positive sentiment, but obviously higher expectation. A lot of people believe that this could be the year that we see ourselves within the final. And look, as a team, individually, we'd like nothing better than that. But we also respect the game of cricket. We're not coming up against a Mickey Mouse team. Australia have a lot of experience and confidence in knockout games like this, so we've got to respect that. I'd hate to say that we deserve to go through because of the way we played our cricket. I don't think that's the way things go. But I think, from our performances, from the processes that we followed to get to this point, we'll continue to lean on that, and we believe that will take care of the result in itself.
Just going to take one from the gentleman in the room shortly now, and then if I can just get the mic on the side just to the front here.
Hello. Temba, yeah. Welcome to Eden Gardens. There's a little bit of shade of FIFA World Cup in this ICC World Cup. There was the race for golden ball between Mbappe and Messi, and here is the race between Virat Kohli and Deco. Where would you put these two players in terms of performance?
Uh, Look, I mean, Quinton, he's been magnificent for us. Um, Obviously, being our leading run scorer. I think at one point he was the leading World Cup scorer as well. So I think that speaks volumes in itself. Knowing Quinton, I don't think he's really paying much attention to all of that. I think his focus is really on contributing as best as he can within for the team. I guess the stats are always just a reflection of everything the guys do behind the scenes. Virat Kohli, obviously a incredible player, and again he's cemented himself as one of the legends within the game. So I'm not sure what is motivating him, but obviously it being a home World Cup, he'd also like to bring it back for his people within India. And I think with Quinton as well, not sharing too much from his side, he'd like to really leave with a bang.
That was actually quite a interesting question. I actually enjoyed it. A little bit of humor in it as well with regards to Messi and Mbappe. But Quinton's gonna have it's a massive game for Quinny. We know that it's going to be a massive game for Quinny. He's in unbelievable form. So hopefully he can do it again against the Australian team. I think you can't get rid of the nerves. That's something obviously that you can't do. It's gonna be there. Um, you don't necessarily want to tell your opponents that you're really nervous, but it's pretty obvious that the nerves are going to be there. But South Africa just need to find a way, and that's why you have psychologists and certain people and experience in the dressing room and experience in the coaching staff, for them to allow the team to be within themselves as a unit and try to focus majority on the the game at hand rather than the symbolism of the match and what this means to the country and all of that, particularly with South Africa because there's extra pressure on them to want to win. Now, in a sport like rugby, the Bokke, we play. They obviously went with that idea of we're playing for our country, we're not playing for ourselves, we're fighting for our team as a unit. Cricket, you can't really fight together in that manner per se. Like you can't really go and smash a guy and then get the whole team riled up. You kind of are individuals, all playing a team sport, and the individuals need to perform on the day to be able to give you an advantage in the match. But there are small wins that you can have. For example, in the field, when we are bowling, if we can maintain pressure in the field, make it difficult for them to change the strike, make it difficult for them to get it into the caps. I feel bowl to our field placements and keep on the pressure. Similarly with the bat, rotate the strike, keep the pressure on the bowlers, don't give them time to settle. All of those type of things will play in South Africa's favor. Now, I think that Eden Gardens, the Kolkata wicket, is probably one of the trickiest wickets for these two teams because the way the teams are balanced, South Africa have some secret weapons or how can I say they have some quality players with some quality abilities that the Eden Gardens wicket will help them out with. It will obviously increase their ability to be able to do certain things. So I think, for example, swing, if you're bowling first, will obviously be something that will play its part. But I think bowling second as well, similarly, it will have some swing there too, I think. We know that it will be a spinning wicket. There will be some bounce, and we have some bowlers that can obviously um, get that out of the wicket. And I think in the same factor with regards to Australia, similarly the same. They've also got bowlers that can exploit the wicket at its best, use it to their advantage, bounce. They've got swing bowlers. They've got a similar team makeup as South Africa. And I do think that this ground is probably the best ground for us to be able to play each other because I feel that this ground is almost even for the two sides. This is just my observation of it. Both sides will have to utilize their skills to their best ability to get the best result on this day. I think Eden Gardens is the perfect venue for these two teams because it isn't favoring one side particularly. I think there's some advantages for South Africa, and I think there's some advantages for Australia. And I think whether you bat first or bowl first. So if South Africa just stick to their guns, play their natural game, we can really make it to that final and do something that has never been done in South African men's cricket history. So let's hope we can pull that off.
Hi, Temba. You said you weren't 100%. First of all, just wondering if you can put a rough guesstimate on whether it's 70% or 99% where you think you are with that hamstring. And also, you spoke about feeling a little bit nervous. Have the other players spoken to you about feeling nervous themselves? And what have you or the other senior players said to them about how to channel that or how to handle it?
Yeah, I'll start with the last one. There's been an acknowledgement of the emotions. I don't think you can deny or run away with that. But there's also been, I guess, solutions or mechanisms that have been given as to how to deal with that anxiety if you feel that it overwhelms yourself. And I think that advice also flows to the senior players. I think there's only two guys in this group that have gone into a semi-final, Quinton and David Miller. So there's not a lot of experience from all other guys. But yeah, there've been that acknowledgement of those emotions as well as, I guess, solutions and mechanisms. In terms of from a percentage point of view, that I can't really give you. Like I said, today is another day. It's obviously an important day, and I will use it as best as I can to make sure that I'm close to my best from a physical point of view.
So what I get from that is he's going to try his best to get fit as possible. And then the coach is going to make the decision on whether they're going to select him based on his fitness and how he's feeling. So I think that's what's going to end up happening with regards to Temba Bavuma. I don't believe he should play if he's not 100% fit. That's my opinion. I wouldn't take a risk like that in a World Cup semi-final when you have a very able and capable batter on the bench. I would pick Bavuma if he's 100% fit. Of course I will, because I strongly believe that his captaincy is important to the side. I strongly believe that. Maybe some people don't. But in my opinion, if he's not 100% fit, I don't think he should play in that semi-final. I think we shouldn't take a risk like that against an Australia team that is unpredictable this time around.
Hi, Temba. To the obvious privilege of leading your country in a semi-final, which you've spoken about a little while ago, does somewhere pressure also sneak in, given the fact that the runs have? How do you deal with that going into what will possibly be a very good match for you and the team?
Yeah, I think I've said this quite a lot. The pressure is always there. I think every player feels pressure, whether you're doing well, whether you're not doing well. It comes in different forms. I think it's important that I feel I try to separate the two, being the captain and leader of the team. Make sure that you're doing that as well as you can, trying to create the calmness and belief within the team going into an occasion like this. And then there's obviously me being the batter, making sure that I'm close to my best. Yes, I haven't scored the bulk of the runs within the team. Got it in quite a couple of times, haven't converted. So I guess from that point of view, also knowing that I play a key role with Quinton up top in terms of our partnership. We've been involved in a couple of 50-plus partnerships, so take a lot of confidence in that. I guess tomorrow my focus will be a lot on that, making sure that if we're batting first, we make sure we take care of that first 10 overs, and then generally after that it's about me personally as a batter, and if I can be ruthless. So the pressure will always be there. I think even if at this point I was averaging 50 or whatever, I'd still feel pressure, but you have to go out there and deal with it. Yeah.
Temba?
That is facts. I'm glad that he understands that we need him to score runs if he plays, and he understands the responsibility that he has with regards to the partnership with Quinton. So I wouldn't have expected anything different, to be honest with you, from his answer. But he's pretty straightforward. We all know that that is the case. I just hope that he does perform. Him and Quinton got us off to a couple of good starts, and that is true. Quinton was mainly the person that contributed to that, but he did also contribute to that too. Before losing his wicket cheaply, I'm trying to go ruthless and go on attack. I think his focus should be to build that partnership as much as possible after 10 overs. I think even more. I think they should try to push and get a solid partnership to about 15. Try to get close to 100 or pass 100 by the 15th over. And then between 80 and 100, I would say, by the 15th over. And then Temba can go and try and become and be more ruthless based on the match situation. Because of the long batting lineup we have and the ability we have in that middle order, he can take a couple of risks then. And then if he loses his wicket, he's done his job. But not getting that milestones has obviously not worked in his favor when it comes to the support of the nation, when it comes to the fans and the support with him with regards to his performances. So we're going to have to wait and see what Rob decides. But I think he needs to make that decision with his head and not his heart. And I don't think he needs to think or listen to anybody else when he makes that decision other than his coaching staff. Because they need to make the best possible decision for the team in that moment for the semi-final. Whether that is going with Bavuma or not. Whatever team they put out there tomorrow, I'm going to support on the day. We can debate now all we want till our faces is blue. And we can give all of our opinions, and this is what this platform is for. So send me your opinions of what you believe. I've made it clear. I said that if he's not 100% fit, I wouldn't take that risk. We need an opening pair that can run between the wickets, rotate the strike, put pressure on Stark and Hazelwood early on. Try and put the pressure back on Australia from the get-go. We'll be batting first, or if we're chasing. Similarly, we need to approach the innings the same, I feel. And I think that's what needs to happen with regards to this. So yeah.
The Springboks are an inspiration to a lot of South Africans, and they recently won their 4th World Cup. I know you guys are also professional cricketers and professional athletes, but do you ever look up to them as an inspiration for what they've done and the mental fortitude they have sort of get into cricket here?
Yeah, definitely. I think to a large degree we look at them in awe, the Springboks, and how they've gone about their back-to-back wins within the World Cup. Obviously, the way they won it this year, with the knockout games being quite close, and again how that resilience, how that do or die attitude came through. That's what we've been speaking about as a team. That when the crunch moment comes, when the pressure moments come, we come together as a team and we find a way to get over the line. We also accept that, it's for us to control what we can control. What our story is within the Proteas. We know what we'd like to look like. We want to be there on the 19th of November, but for us to do that, we've got to focus and deal with tomorrow as best as we can.
Captain, one thing is that last time your batters had collapsed against India, especially against Ravindra spin. So that time also the area of concern is spin, because yesterday we saw you and your batters are practices against the spinners. More than 1 hour.
What's the question?
I'm telling you that is the most area of concern this time also, the spin, because you are practicing against the spinners most of the time yesterday.
Yeah, I think in terms of looking at the wicket, we feel that it potentially could be a wicket that assists the spinners a lot more. So I guess naturally so there'll be a focus on our spin play. I don't think there's an insecurity or anything like that within our spin play as a team. We know we've played spin quite well from whatever angle you look at it statistically or whatever. So I think it's just the guys covering their bases. Yes, the practice was probably long yesterday, but probably because guys wanted to take time off today and rather mentally refresh. Coming up against Afghanistan, you know that the challenge is going to be the spin. So again, naturally, so guys will spend time polishing up their game plans. Afghanistan, Australia, obviously a different challenge. So yeah, no insecurity, I think, lies there in terms of our ability to play spin.
So there, of course, Temba making it very clear that he wants two spinners in the team, but it's not going to be up to him. Good call by the captain. I think that's what I think a lot of us would want as well, based on what you guys have said over the last couple of shows.
Further question? One last one over there.
Can we sing Shakira that music this time for Africa?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think the stadium will play the song during the day.
Oh my lord.
That's where that song will lie. No, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Temba, for joining us today.
Temba just had to do it, man. Come on for the chaos. Oh, he had to just do it to show the whole waka waka. I think everybody was when that song came out. He said, "Can you sing?" I'm gonna ask you, what did he say? He said, "Can you sing this time for Africa, waka waka?" You wanted him to sing waka waka. So let me get yeah, it's a little bit of a nervy press conference, I must admit. We can see that Temba is a little bit nervous, and I hope it doesn't show in the game tomorrow. I don't think it will. I think that this team will understand that there's nothing to lose in the semi-final, in my opinion. That's something I think they will come together and they'll do it for us. That's what I believe, at least. But let's see what you guys believe. This is what it's about. I'm going to start by the 7:30 mark with regards to the comments. I can't go through all of them right now. Denzel says JP Dumini didn't even cover his chances as well, but he offered partnerships in key areas. Didn't convert his chances as well, but he offered partnerships in key areas. And partnerships in key areas is very important. The problem is if Temba loses his wicket and Quinny loses his wicket shortly after, that's when it becomes a problem. That's why it didn't really affect us as much in earlier games. But in certain games where we had collapses, it did. So we're going to need him to hit form at some point. And the semi-final is the best time if he's 100% fit. To do this game would help Australia, says BG3. I think you speak for the Master squad. If he's fit and playing tomorrow, we'll be there. But if there's doubt, play the fit Riza. Play Riza with his fit or not, says Azim. Also, can't have a fit. Very good point. You can't have an unfit Temba that can't run properly in the field either. That's something that's also very true. Lorenzo says, the late great Shane Warne always said, at the toss, you always look down rather than up. So if we win the toss, it's a no-brainer to do what we do best, and that's bat first, said Lorenzo. Lawrence says, Kesha and Shamo definitely in tomorrow. Temba wants it as well. I agree with that. Berger says, hope Shamsi doesn't drop any sitters tomorrow. We can't afford any drop catches. We need to be awake in the field and alert in the field and clinical in the field. They can't play spin on a turning pitch. Kutsia must play, says Berger. I think a lot of us believe that he should. If there's bounce in this wicket as well, I think it will favor him. Um, but it's going to be a difficult decision, in my opinion, between him and Lungi, because Lungi brings experience. And having played at the Kolkata wicket already, he knows now what it offers. Play Rizai, he would prove himself again to play final. Play Riza, he would prove himself again to play the final. Shams is disappointing in the field, has no intensity. They need to put him in a position where there isn't really much required of him when it comes to certain sprints, etc. Kuchia must play. Lawrence saying waka waka. Temba wanted to have a huge laugh there, laugh aloud. Shamsi for Andile and Janssen for Lungi. Real G says Zampa has some kryptonite in the SA team, Quinton de Kock and Klaassen. And Shamsi is a kryptonite for the Aussies. Rain is a kryptonite for SA, though, especially in the semi-finals. Yeah, I would like to know what you guys, which weather reports you guys looked at with regards to the Eden Gardens weather in that area. Because from the, where is this from? From weather.com, it, it tells me that precipitation is about 45%, 49%, 39%, 32, 32. Right from 11 o'clock till about 11 o'clock the morning till about 11 o'clock the evening, it's about 39, 32, 32, 50%, and 47%. It goes up and down between them on Friday. And then tomorrow, when the game starts, it's 24%, 33%, and 34%. So only, yeah. So it could, but it also could, maybe, might not. So we're gonna have to wait and see how the weather is going to affect us. I think Temba's nervous because I feel he knows he might be injured and miss out, and guess the pressure is telling on him. Nerves is normal, just keep it in house, says Lawrence. Looking at the weather, what to do after winning the toss. PG3 says field first, expecting 50 plus 20 over today. Your openers need to perform. New Zealand openers did not play well, hence New Zealand loss. Openers always need to perform. Two things don't want: no drop catches and no run out for the Proteas. 100%. Put Temba in the slips. Don't know why he's at long on. Busy area. Experience never won us a World Cup before, even with all the great experienced players we had. So I'd play the raw and inform and fit Kutsia. It's clear Lungi is struggling for fitness and is way too predictable. Anurag says AccuWeather has been showing no rain since last week. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I think KG bowling with Marco may be calming influence on him. Holly, did SA announce India series squad? No, that's still far from being announced. So yeah, how does one team beat this Indian side? It's about keeping the pressure on when you've smelt a little bit of blood, when you've struck. I think that's something that teams haven't done well against India. When they've found a way to break through, they haven't maintained pressure in them. And I think that's how you beat them, is you maintain pressure and you try to get the crowd against them. That's the key. You need to get the crowd on you against them, and they'll get nervous. So that's at least what I think. So when you smell blood, go for the kill. Looked at the first semi-final to control, namely good start with the bat and attack, but opposition in pressure. Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie, Khalid. Let's do this. Yo, I read that out pretty okay, didn't I? Lungi is unfit and bowls too many bad balls. Gerald is no brainer, says Dex. Mo says we can't afford to give 20 plus extras. This is a semi-final. 100% agree with you there. Lorenzo says today showed, in my opinion, India can be beat. Just put pressure on them and take the game deep. And Latham and openers get 50 or 100. New Zealand should have the win. Is Temba Bavuma fit for tomorrow's match? According to him and the press conference that we just went through, he is still being assessed. He is not 100% fit yet, but they probably will make a decision. But that was this morning. So they're probably making a decision. Well, they would have made a decision already based on what is for him, whether he's going to play or not. Lungi has brilliant record against Australia. Definitely does. We have to bat first if we are going to win this match. Australia are in form. The Afrikaans Mundeling was decent. Thanks. Hey guys, how's it, Harley? Trust you well, bro. How's it, Raul? If there is moisture in the air, it will be humid. I'm from Durban. I know it's not liquor, so Lungi suffers in that type of weather. Gerald is a no-brainer. Khalid, you're 11 for sir. 11 for. Oh, my 11 for SA. If Temba's fit, I'll play Quinton and Temba, Rassi, Aiden, Klaassen, Miller, Janssen, Gerald, Keshav, KG, and Shamsi. Yo, it's hard for me to drop Lungi, but I just think that I've always said it. Form must play. Form, the best informed players must play. Gerald is the third highest wicket taker in the tournament currently. He's ruthlessly quick. There might be some bounce in this wicket. Lungi hasn't looked 100% fit throughout the tournament, and especially in the last game. Do I want to take that risk in a semi-final? So I'm thinking of all of those type of things when it comes to my 11. If you watch the India game, especially Shamsi, the way to go is to keep a tight line and length. Test match bowling will bring the results. This Bafokeng. Toss will be important. Knockout matches. South Africa always loses tosses normally, especially with Bavuma. Maybe this is the one toss that he wins. And won't that be the most important toss to win? Key batters from Australia are Travis Head, David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Glenn Maxwell. I think anybody in that team, bro. There's anybody on the given day. That's the thing about Australia this time around. Anybody on a given day can save them. They've proven that. Hendricks has to come in whether Bavuma is fit or not. Markram can captain, says Albi. We definitely need to go with Gerald over Lungi, says Raul. Gerald is in form, but Lungi is not out of form. Yeah, Lungi is not out of form. But Lungi hasn't looked 100% fit in the last 2-3 games now. He's looked like he's had some troubles in the last 2 or 3 games. And that's my concern. Whether you can take a risk like that in a semi-final, I don't know. Like for the last game, for example, that was a massive risk to play Lungi, and then he was injured, and then we had to play Markram, and then he didn't complete his overs and all of that stuff, and then he came back. It could have been, if that game was, if we weren't in the semi-finals or a knockout game, that would have been very risky. He might go for runs, but I'm pretty sure he'll pick up wickets, says Raul. My 11 tomorrow's match is Riza, Quinton, Rassi, Markram, Klaassen, Miller, Marco, Maharaj, Rabada, Lungi, and Shamsi, says Abhinav. Khalid, where New Zealand lost the match, their bowling performance wasn't as, I think they were looking too much for swing. And they allowed the India batters to settle in and get on top of them. Trent Bolt didn't particularly bowl that well. Saudi went for 100 runs, even though he took 3 wickets. So I think that's where things went wrong for them. They weren't as consistent and accurate with their bowling lines and lengths like they normally were. I think also losing the toss in Mumbai is almost suicidal in a way. Most teams that are going to bat first and put a big score on are going to win in Mumbai. And then they lost the match because Mohammad Shami is just fantastic. We all went into panic when Nortje was ruled out of the World Cup, and not one of us expected Jero to play the Nortje enforcer role to perfection, the same way Nortje does. So it's really a no-brainer. Berger, Josh Inglis, and Labuschagne are crap. Raul says wickets is key and catches, and definitely the toss guys. I'm also going General end of Lungi if we're playing two spinners tomorrow. Brings a lot of energy as well. Will the BCCI make us play on an old pitch tomorrow like today? Against India, put 350 plus. SA have a good chance. We'll play dot balls. Gerald can bat as well. I think Pekukara could come in just for the extra batting option, but obviously there is no one who we can certainly drop, says Albi. Should not allow Head and Warner to attack. Need to get Head out cheaply. Collect Lorenzo, says Raul. Denzel says, in my whole life, being a Proteas fan, I've never seen a team like this. We bat first, we win. We bat second, we lose. Well, not the last 2 times we chased, even though it was close. Lugir Gidi leaking too many runs as strike bowler. He hasn't took wickets and hasn't made proper impact so far. Real G says we must also understand that Hendricks is no point Ponting or Matthew Hayden, but I still prefer him. We shouldn't overhype him though. BG3 says my mom. If a full game happened, then Kesh. My man of the match. If a full game happened, then I don't understand. Your mom. I don't understand. Mainly Saudi is waste. He is not a fast bowler, bowling slow ball, giving 100 runs. We shouldn't disrespect Temba's form this year. If he's fit, he'll play. Rob was never going to leave Temba out on form. We shouldn't diss Riza as well as top replacement. Support both players. It's a team sport. 100%. Agree with you. Aiden needs to bowl in the power play. In KO matches, teams tend to target one bowler for us, either be Shamsi or Gerald, given that we need our part-timer to take some overs off of opposition targets, says Buffer King. Azim BG3 explain. Yeah. Anyway, guys, my time is up because my laptop's about to die and it's load shedding here. So as you guys know the drill. But that's the preview for tomorrow's game. We've spoken about the team. We've spoken about Timba's press conference. We've spoken about the approach that needs to happen. We've spoken about the weather. We spoke about the pitch. And I'm back in South Africa to take this match. Get all their ducks in a row, play their natural game, and I'm backing them to win. If they don't win, at least I want to see an effort from them where they go down fighting and don't just roll over when things go wrong. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I want a ruthless South Africa, giving 100%, leaving everything on the field. Let's give Australia a proper game. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share. But also very important that you guys also click that red button, subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos as well. Also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Become a patron to show your support for what we do here. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. Smash the like, comment, and share. Let's get the final comments in that are coming in now. Khalid, what if Temba tomorrow gets unfit mid-match? That's why if he's not 100% fit before the match, don't take the risk. But anybody can get injured within a match. But I want there to be honesty from Temba if he's not 100%, and I wanted coaches to make the right decision when it comes to that. I want KG to fire up against Australia like he did before. I think he will. I really do believe that KG will be fired up tomorrow. Go SA. I back Marlon, South Afrikaans guy, winning it for us tomorrow. KG to repeat under 19 semi-final 2014. South Africa, hearts, great emojis. See you, everybody. Good luck to the Proteas. Let us get into a first final, guys. Let's do it. Let's make everybody proud. Trust your own game. And don't think too much about the opposition, about the occasion. Just focus on what you need to do. If you can do everything that you do right, that you've been doing, you can give the Aussies a proper fight. Get on top of them. Be ruthless. Leave everything on the field. It's a game that the world will be watching, and we believe in you guys. And even if you don't get over the line, at least leave everything on that field tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow for a review show after the game. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Peace out.